Retirement should be one of the most exciting seasons of your life, not the most confusing. And yet, over 50% of Americans say they're actually unsure what's usually true when it comes to retirement planning. So in this video, we're gonna cut through the noise and bust some of the biggest retirement myths that could be holding you back from the peaceful, confident retirement you deserve. Hey there, it's Caitlin with the Retirement Co. And today we're diving into one of my favorite topics, retirement planning myths. There's so much misinformation floating around, from outdated advice online to half-truths passed along by friends, coworkers, and even well-meaning financial gurus. And the problem is, those myths can quietly shape your decisions without you even realizing it. That's why I wanted to take a few minutes to walk through some of the biggest misconceptions we hear all the time and give you the truth behind them. Because when you know what's real and what's not, you can plan smarter, avoid unnecessary stress, and actually enjoy this next chapter of the life you've always imagined. Let's start with the reality. Most people enter retirement with some assumptions, and while many sound reasonable, they can create big blind spots. Here are a few of the most common ones we hear. Social Security will cover most of my expenses. I'll spend less in retirement than I do now. I can always catch up later. My taxes will be lower once I stop working. I'll just keep working as long as I want to. None of these are crazy ideas. They come from things people have heard for years. But believing them can mean running out of money too soon, paying more in taxes than you want to, and losing flexibility when you need it most. So we're going to unpack each of these and talk about what's really true. Myth number 1, Social Security will be enough. This one's probably the most common and the most dangerous. Social Security is a great foundation, but it was never meant to fully replace your income. The average benefit today is about $1,900 per month, or roughly $23,000 per year. Most retirees spend closer to $4,000 to $6,000 a month just on basic living expenses. That means Social Security covers maybe a third of what you actually need. The rest has to come from other sources, savings, pensions, investments, or guaranteed income tools like annuities. So instead of viewing Social Security as your full plan, think of it as your base layer that you're going to build on top of. Myth 2, I'll spend less when I retire. You might assume that once you retire, your spending naturally goes down. That is not always true. In fact, research shows that retirees often spend more in the first 10 years of retirement. That's because you finally have time to travel, spoil the grandkids, renovate the house, check off that bucket list. And while that's a good thing, it means your retirement plan needs to support the lifestyle you actually want, not just the bare minimum to get by. Now, later in retirement, your travel and activity expenses might slow down, but healthcare often goes back up. So building a plan that can adjust for both is key. Myth 3, I can catch up later. This one is easy to fall into, especially when life feels expensive, raising kids, paying off the mortgage, or running a business. But here is the reality. Waiting to save means you lose the one thing you can't get back. That's time. Thanks to compounding, even small amounts invested earlier can grow dramatically more than a big contribution made later. For example, if you start saving $500 a month at age 30, you could have around $600,000 by 65, assuming a 7% average return. If you wait until 45 to start, you'd have less than $200,000. Same effort, very different result. So even if you can't save much right now, starting something beats starting later. Myth number 4, my taxes will be lower in retirement. This one surprises a lot of people. Yes, your income may drop, but that doesn't automatically mean lower taxes. Between Social Security being taxable, required minimum distributions or RMDs from your retirement accounts, and the loss of deductions like kids or mortgage interest, your tax bill can actually increase. That's why tax planning is such an overlooked part of retirement. Having money in different tax buckets, like a Roth account, traditional IRAs, and non-qualified accounts, gives you flexibility to control what you pay later on. A smart retirement plan isn't just about growth, it's about keeping what you have earned. Myth number 5, I'll just keep working. This one comes from good intentions. People who love what they do or simply want to stay active. But studies show that about 45% of retirees end up leaving the workforce earlier than planned, often due to health issues or layoffs or caring for other family. So yes, keep working if you can and you want to, but don't make your plan depend on that. The goal is to be financially free enough to choose work, not to need it. Now, let's talk about the biggest myth of all, the one that quietly causes more damage than any other. Retirement planning is just about saving money. That one line right there is where so many good plans go off track, because saving is only half of the equation. What truly matters is how you turn your savings into income and how long that income will last. Here's a statistic that surprises almost everyone. According to a study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the average retiree household withdraws their savings at nearly twice the sustainable rate. In other words, they're spending down their money too fast, and many risk running out completely. And it's not because they were reckless. It's because they did not have a strategy. They just had savings. Let's put it into perspective. Imagine you retire with $1 million saved. That sounds like a lot of money, right? But if you follow the traditional 4% rule, that means withdrawals about $40,000 a year. Now factor in taxes, inflation, and rising healthcare costs. That number can quickly shrink. A recent Motley Fool analysis found that to maintain a middle-class lifestyle for 30 years in retirement, most households would need now closer to $1.7 million, not one. So it's not about how big your nest egg is, it's about how efficiently it's structured. And this is where true retirement planning comes in. It's not about chasing the next hot stock or timing the market. It is about creating reliable income streams that feel like a paycheck every single month, no matter what the market does. Think about it like this. When you were working, your financial life revolved around your cash flow. Your paycheck came in and your bills went out, and life stayed pretty predictable. In retirement, you need to recreate that same structure, except now you're the one signing your own paycheck. That's why we talk so much about balance and blending guaranteed income tools like annuities or pensions with growth assets like investments. The right mix gives you both security and flexibility, because the goal isn't to just die with the biggest account balance. The goal is to live with the greatest freedom, knowing your money will be there every month for as long as you are. Here's another powerful stat that always stops people in their tracks. According to the Stanford Center on Longevity, there's nearly a 50% chance that one spouse in a healthy couple retiring at 65 will live past age 90. That means your retirement could last 25 to 30 years, as long as your entire working career. So the question isn't just, have I saved enough? It's, can my money last as long as I do? And that's what separates people who retire confidently from those who retire cautiously. It is not luck. It is structure, intention, and the right mix of tools designed to create a dependable income for decades, not just years. So let's recap our big takeaways here. Social Security is a foundation, not a full plan. You may spend more, not less, in early retirement. Start early. Time is your biggest advantage. Taxes don't automatically go down. And while working longer is great, it should not be the plan. The truth is, retirement planning doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be honest. And when you strip away the myths and focus on what really matters, income, taxes, and protection, you can create a plan that truly works for you. If this video helped you rethink your retirement strategy, hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our next video. And if you heard any retirement advice that sounds questionable, drop it in the comments. I might feature it in a future video. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.